Good evening, everyone. We would like to call our February 12th City Council meeting to order. Welcome those who are joining us in the audience and those who are checking in with us remotely. At this time, we'll ask that Pastor Mathis from Mission Fields Ministry, if he would come to the podium. Ask that everyone would please stand for the prayer. Immediately following the invocation, if we could repeat the Pledge of Allegiance in unison. Pastor, how are you, sir?
Well, I've arrived. I got caught up in the traffic a little bit out there on North Ramsey, but
On where?
I'm so grateful. I hate disappointing people. Yes. Oh, Lord, Father, once again, we acknowledge your sovereignty and your loving kindness to all of us here on this earth. We thank you tonight for your presence. And, oh, Lord, as we come once again, we're also grateful for your loving kindness, your mercy, and your long suffering with humanity, especially in these days. And Lord, also we understand that you are God, and we just don't approach you any kind of way, especially when we realize our great need for you to be involved in the affairs that we carry out. And so, Lord, we ask now, wherever there's anything that you would frown on in our gathering this evening, we ask that you would forgive us, O Lord, and have mercy upon us and hear our cry. The agenda has already been set. We continue to thank you for our Mayor Colvin and his family and how you continue to protect him and guide him, not only him, but the remainder of his staff, everyone that contributes here to try and make Fayetteville one of the best cities in the state of North Carolina you can live in, God. We thank you for them and how you continue to protect them. And Lord, talk about protection. We dare not forget, Lord, our first responders. And God, we ask that you would continue to keep your warring angels at their back, so when their backs are turned, there are no surprises, no harm being done to them. Oh God, we thank you in these very difficult and dangerous times that we live in now. We thank you for your omnipresence and how you're always there for us. We thank you especially for their willingness to put their lives in harm's way, oh God, as having families also that they intend to go home to. We thank you. God, you have truly blessed the city of Fayetteville. Well, I'm biased toward it. It's a wonderful place to live as far as I'm concerned. And God, I ask you now that you would continue even in this year of 2024. Open up the doors, oh Lord, the doors that you see that we stand in need of. Thank you for the boundaries and how you protect this city from some of the worst crimes and spirits that could cause us to be in national news a whole lot of times. We are grateful, God, even though we don't say it all the time. We are grateful. And now, Lord, we ask, God, that you would continue to grant the board, the council, wisdom, oh Lord, to dispatch the things on their agenda the way that you would have them to be dispatched. And we ask that we would behave and show respect for our leadership. And we declare and decree all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Mathis, it's good to see you again, and we're very familiar with you, but it may be some in the audience or tuning in by remote means that may not know you. Want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your ministry?
Well, Mayor Colvin, I'm always very honored to be on the winning side and to be a part, an activist of change in these days. And the ministry I represent, Mission Field Ministries, we're right at 25 years now. We're located at 3429 Black and Decker Road, right adjacent to the UPS building. We've been out there for about 10 years now. We're a mission-oriented ministry, and Mayor Colvin and your staff, I'm especially grateful in the last meeting that you held, Coffee with the Mayor. I was glad to hear about the initiative and the things that you're trying to do regarding the black youth, or youth in general, because I'm really excited about that. I was quickened in my spirit on last year to begin to be a part of that move. And so we're grateful, mission-oriented, the homeless, picking up food from Walmart every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we set up at 10 o'clock. We have a lot of people out there coming out. We put the food out on the tables, and people just come. You don't need ID or anything, and we distribute that every third Saturday. We do the full thing. We get about 8,000 pounds of food from Second Harvest Food Bank. Matter of fact, this coming Thursday, and we'll box it all up and issue it out on third Saturdays from 12 o'clock until all the boxes are gone. I'm very excited about 2024. I look forward to being available in any way that you feel that you can use me. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. Well, thank you, Pastor Council, and the citizens certainly appreciate your willingness to come and share the evening with us with a prayer. At this time, we would like to, as we move to the recognitions, like to certainly recognize February's Black History Month. Excellent time for us. We're a big melting pot here in this community. We want to make sure that we learn as much as we can about each other and our heritages and our backgrounds, which makes us great. Our diversity certainly is our strength, and so this is Black History Month, so taking an opportunity to learn something that we didn't know about some of our fellow citizens that are of African or Black African American descent, or Black History Month. A lot of history in this country, and a lot of people who've contributed significantly to where we are today. But it makes us great as a country that when we learn more about one another. So just like to remind everyone of that. Also, too, certainly would be remiss if I did not acknowledge two-time Super Bowl winner Joshua Williams, a product of this community, Jack Britt High School graduate, Fayetteville State University graduate, who has represented us and has done something that I would say less than 1% of people get an opportunity to experience not one, but two world championships for the Kansas City Chief. Mr. Williams played gallantly yesterday, and we're certainly proud of him. So let's give him a round of applause in his honor. All right. So with that, Council, I don't see any other, I heard the west side down there. I don't see any other questions or comments. We'll move to the city manager's report. And Ms. Oliveira, you have anything for us?
Report on Friday.
All right, thank you. And certainly we, hearts and minds and thoughts and prayers with Mr. Hewitt, who's out for some family emergency issues. So we pray for his swift return and his family. This time, Council will move to 6.0 is approval of the agenda. Councilmember Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I motion we approve the agenda.
All right. There's a motion by Councilmember Thompson. Councilmember Benavente, was that did I see your name? Is there a second, sir? All right, second by Councilmember Benavente. Discussion on the motion. All right, Council, I'll look to you for your votes on our sure pads. All right, is Councilmember Hare online?
Yes, sir, I am. Green.
Hey, how are you, sir? Councilmember Hare. All right. So, Madam Clerk, that's unanimous with Councilmember Hare's vote by those voting. Moving to the next item, which is 7.0 consent. Council, I'll look to you for action on that. Councilmember Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I motion we approve the consent agenda.
All right. So, motion by Councilmember Thompson to approve the items under consent, seconded by Councilmember Benavente. All right. Any discussion on the motion? Is seeing none, Council, I'll look to you for votes on that.
Green.
All right, Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Councilmember here voting green by phone. At this time, council is moving to item 8.0, the public forum. This is the time that any Fayetteville resident may have input and a voice in what goes on in their city. Due to policy restrictions, the public forum shall last no longer than 15 minutes. The mayor shall have discretion. Is this the new? I don't know. This is the new update. So this policy was recently updated. Do you have it, Madam Attorney? No? All right. So
I do have the policy here, Mayor Colvin, but I don't have your script. The clerk's office, you have?
It is 30. Can you read the policy for us?
Yes, sir. The public forum shall last no longer than 30 minutes. Any remaining speakers on the public forum list that did not get an opportunity to address the city council will have the option to have their name placed at the beginning of the next scheduled public forum list of speakers. Would you like for me to go on? Okay.
Yeah, just read the whole policy for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Each speaker shall have up to 3 minutes to address council on issues related to the city of Fayetteville. No time will be yielded to any speaker by another speaker. Speakers will address council in the order in which their name appears on the sign-up sheet. Speakers shall address council from the podium and shall not otherwise physically approach council. Any written comments and/or supporting documents shall be left with the city clerk. Speakers will be courteous in their language and presentation and shall refrain from personal attacks. The mayor or other designated presiding officer reserves the right at all times to maintain order and decorum during the public forum. Speakers shall not discuss the following matters during the public forum: personnel, litigation, property acquisition, attorney-client privilege, confidential, and matters that are subject of public hearings. Speakers desiring to speak on any of the aforementioned will be directed on the proper procedure for discussing those matters. Speakers will not discuss matters regarding the candidacy of any person seeking public office, including the candidacy of the person addressing the board. No dialogue shall occur between the speaker and council. At the conclusion of the public forum, the city manager or city attorney may provide rebuttal to any statements made during the public forum. Anyone desiring to speak may sign up in advance, no later than 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting, in person with the city clerk, in the city manager's office suite, by email, or by calling 910-433-1992.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a copy of that whenever you have an opportunity? I'll get it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right, council, as we move into the public forum, we have 15 speakers that have signed up. We will stay within the policy restrictions that were read, and so we'll try to move along as quickly as possible to get as many of the 15 speakers to have an opportunity to speak. So with that, Madam Clerk, I'll go to the first speaker.
Yes, sir. Our first speaker is Mr. Mario Hardy. Mr. Mario Hardy? Not here.
Okay.
Mr. Archie Beringer.
Reverend Barringer, how are you, sir?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Good.
Good, good. Go Chief! Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. I think the most important thing that I took away from the Super Bowl last night was that I saw black and white coaches and black and white players working together with a common purpose for a common cause and a common goal, and that was to win the game. One of our newscasters said this morning that the most popular place in America last night was in Las Vegas at the Super Bowl, with 60,000 fans, red, yellow, black, and white, all screaming and all wanting to see their favorite team win. With NFL slogans like "We're better together," "Choose love," "Show unity," and players, black and white, hugging one another, encouraging one another, and being genuinely happy and proud for one another, I want to ask us tonight, why can't we do the same here in Fayetteville, regardless of race, color, and creed, in all that we do? As Rodney King said back in 1991, why can't we all just get along? This is a new year. This is a new day. This is a new beginning in our racial relationships here in Fayetteville. May 30th, 2020 left a blemish both on black and white skin that will eventually become a scar unless it is dealt with. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to restore relationships in 2024. I'm looking to restore the principles and values that America was founded upon, as well as our fair city, our all-American city of Fayetteville. But as Billy Graham once said, as long as we have men and women who hate, men and women who have prejudices, men and women who struggle for wealth or power to attain at any cost, then we are constantly in danger of a world explosion that could blow us all into oblivion. And how true he was. The Chiefs eventually won in overtime. But my friends, it was not without an extremely hard-fought game. Former President Ronald Reagan had a motto on his desk which read, "There is no limit as to how much good one can do or accomplish when they don't matter who gets the credit for it." Mr. Mayor and council members, I applaud the new plans for the makeover of the Market House. Do they include the taking down of the slogans? I think each of you owe it to the good people of Fayetteville and Cumberland County to take them down. Just a minute, please. I'm in the middle of a sentence, in the middle of a statement. Hear me. Will you take the slogans down? Will you take the slogans down?
Madam
Yes,
Clerk.
sir, Mr. Mayor. As I leave, I'll say black and white both voted for blacks and whites as mayor and on this council member.
Mayor.
For the good of this Fayetteville.
Our next speaker is Mr. Brian
Thank you, Reverend
Henry.
Mayor. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Brian Henry.
Not prepared for a full council meeting. I apologize. Mr. Mayor, council members.
Good evening, sir.
I have had a problem.
Can you please state your name and your address or record?
My name is Brian Henry. My address is 6454 East Hampton Road, Fayetteville.
Thank you.
I've had a problem with figuring out who dug a particular line, which damaged my sewer line. I've called multiple companies. I've had multiple companies verify that this particular line is not theirs. I have tried multiple departments within the city to figure out who has an easement on my property. I don't know, and I need help trying to figure that out. Because it was quite extensive damage to plumbing and bill. My wife and I just had twins. She's active duty. I'm disabled veteran. So we need help with trying to get this fixed and paid up.
Yes, sir. So what we'll do, either Ms. Olivero or Ms. Jody, certainly will get you to the right department that we can identify if it's a city easement. I know also the county records department should have whose property it belongs to, and you can find that pretty quick. So Ms. Jody will point you in the right direction, sir.
Another thing I wanted to bring to your attention, since I have the time, is I was bounced around between several departments, nobody claiming ownership of who would know this information. There's a lot of he said, she said within, and I don't know. And if the departments could get together at some point to figure out who is responsible for what issues and communicate better, it would be great for people that find themselves in similar issues.
Well, we appreciate you coming and bringing that to our attention. I can guarantee you Ms. Phillips will get you to the department as it relates to the city. If it's a city easement, we can clarify that. So right here in the green sweater, you can get with her. Thank you, sir.
Mayor, our next speaker is Mr. Jelenko Hurst.
Mr. Hirsch, good evening.
Good evening, Chalico Hirsch, 134 Wayside Drive. Thank you for the opportunity to come speak before the City Council. First and foremost, whenever adults say something that's critical or unfounded or overzealously, publicly, you got to take and use that same energy and apologize publicly when you're wrong. And since I consider myself a conscious-minded black man, I extend my apology to the current Fayetteville Police Chief, Mr. Brendan, and his immediate staff, because I was overzealous when I brought up a certain situation concerning the citizen's child. The child is still missing. Let me go ahead and bring that foremost. After I extend my apology, his name is Evante McNeil, but I was overzealous with my criticism. That's what men do. Secondly, let me remind the citizens of Cumberland County and Fayetteville, the election is starting for all state offices except for Fayetteville City Council. We must be diligent because 37 states in this country have put roadblocks to slow down the voting process. Some states have implemented policies where they make it a crime to give a fellow citizen a bottle of water. So for anyone to come before a council in this country, when you got 37 states that's trying to take us back to the Jim Crow days, that is a statement that needs no addressing. Second and foremost, there's a program that former Justices Talley and Weeks seeks to participation for citizens in Cumberland County and Fayetteville. And I advise any citizen that has free time to come and join that program. It's called OR, to be a court watcher. These courts need to be watched. The overzealous and sometimes erroneous convictions from judicial officials, we need private citizens who have the time to come and take notes. I've been doing it for years. Got it by the books, anybody who know me. Fayetteville PAC was the organization that seen and corrected and wrote this justice, racial justice, in a murder case that was just done 5 months ago. Also, the 22nd of this month, the state of North Carolina Supreme Court is having a hearing on the funding for the Leonardo case. All those with kids and grandkids, please pay attention to that case, because this is billions of dollars for our kids and our teachers. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Hirsch. Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. Jerry Rinel.
Good evening, Mr. Rhino.
Good evening. Can we use this? The view graph?
I'm not sure if it's operational, sir.
I'll get along without it. Mr. Mayor, distinguished members of the Fayetteville City Council, good evening. My name is Jerry Rinel, 516 Deer Path Drive, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Tonight, I'm requesting the Fayetteville City Council consider placing an appropriate monument at an unmarked grave in Northside Cemetery. The grave contains the remains of 15 of 21 African Americans killed in what was then the nation's deadliest traffic accident. On June 6, 1957, at about 6:55 a.m., the driver of a flatbed steak truck was carrying about 41 African American migratory farm workers to pick beans in Dunn. Earlier, they had departed their camp in Mount Olive and fueled up at a local gas station. The truck carrying the farm workers made a right turn off of North Carolina 102 near Eastover Central Elementary School onto US 301 North, pulling into the path of the incoming tractor trailer loaded with 10 tons of Irish potatoes traveling to a potato chip factory. The tractor trailer rolled on its side, but the driver from Pennsylvania did not have any serious injuries. Instantly, the farm workers' truck exploded into flames hampering relief and rescue operations. The dead and injured were scattered along the road and in the trenches along the side of the road. Most of the deaths occurred at the accident site. Only one worker escaped without any injuries. The Fayetteville Observer published a photo of the crash site, which is in your read-ahead packet. The Fayetteville Observer also reported that the practice of packing migrant workers into trucks was not illegal. The accident apparently resulted in changing the law, which was a good thing. The deceased driver had not been drinking and was not under the influence of drugs. The accident victims' ages ranged from about 18 months to 57 years of age. Research indicates workers' homes included here, Fayetteville, and other parts of North Carolina, Alabama, California, Florida, Georgia, New Jersey, New York, South Carolina, and Washington, D.C. The deceased included at least one World War II veteran. Two of the deceased were never identified. The Fayetteville Cumberland Parks and Recreation Cemetery Office director has been very helpful and is currently researching records to locate that unmarked grave. Request you consider placing an appropriate monument at the unmarked mass grave of the victims of North Carolina's most deadly traffic accident. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rinel.
Our next speaker is Ms. Sharon Melville. Ms. Sharon Melvin. No. Our next speaker is Dr. Sarah Sinane. Dr. Sarah.
Time to stand up and not stand down for the equality of all.
Reverend,
Our next
Reverend
speaker is
Barringer.
Mr. Bear Elliott. Mr. Bear Elliott. Miss Georgiana Pickney. Thank you, ma'am.
Greetings, Mayor Colvin and our distinguished council members. Thank you so much for allowing Fayetteville to experience a greater life by sharing what we do and why we do. I am the founder, Georgiana Pinkney, and executive director of Greater Life of Fayetteville. My residence is 3529 Furman Drive, zip 28304. And we are in the historic Orange Street School, and we're temporarily now operating out of the Smith Recreation Center until renovations are completed. Greater Life of Fayetteville was created in 2006 and placed on hold because I became a caregiver for one of my family members. But it was created out of life experience for my family and myself. I was a wife, and my husband at that time told us that he did not want us anymore. So with two amazing little girls and 8 months pregnant, we moved from place to place for a while and faced financial challenges due to lack of support from the non-custodian parent. So at that time went on, we became a foster care home for over 10 years because of a little girl who my children befriended facing a traumatic event. And these young people were classified as at risk, but we call them of great opportunities. Many of them were written off, saying they were unworthy and they would never mount up to anything. So the population that we serve here in Fayetteville is grade 1 through 8, to low to medium income-based families or any child that needs our help. We offer a suspension program that if the child has been placed on out-of-school short-term suspension, we ask the parent to bring them to us, and we work with them. We also offer 3 days out of the week after-school tutoring from the time the child arrives until 5:30 in the evenings. We also offer monthly parenting workshops, which we call PIN, People in Need. These workshops is actually funded by your City of Fayetteville Economic and Development Department, which we are so honored to have received, and it has caused us to expand our monthly parenting workshops. Now we have been authorized to do 12 of them in the year, which is wonderful. But one thing is that we receive these grants, but they're restricted grants. That means they're reimbursable. So we are needing upfront funds, unrestricted funds, so we can bring on more staff members and expand our program. So we'd be more effective in the city of Fayetteville, which we call Faithville. So we just want to thank you so much for the opportunity, and we also offer a 5-week summer academy called I Am Unique, because every child is unique in their own way. We target the grades that they're going into. We offer not just academics, but cultural arts, historical arts, government, agriculture, you name it, we do it to encounter the entire child. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pinckney. Great work. Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. Joseph Wheeler. Mr. Joseph Wheeler.
Good evening, Mr. Wheeler.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Council. I am Joseph Wheeler, Homeless Assembly, 245 Alexander Street. And tonight, I am here to discuss, again, the J Resource Center and what type of success they could have and could have become now that Cumberland HealthNet will no longer have the contract with the J Resource Center. To make anything a success, it takes a SME. And the best SMEs that Fayetteville have regarding the homeless are the ones with lived experience. The Homeless Assembly knows most of them. And there are many SMEs out there in different regards. Some are even paralegals. If you gave a seat at the table to the homeless, you would get to know them too. The Economic Development Department of Fayetteville has painted a bleak and untrue narrative in the last week regarding the failure of the existing DRC. It did not fail because of the homeless community. It failed because it never provided housing navigation, which is on this page, and or outreach, which is on this page. Both things they say on the websites they provide. None of that was ever provided to the homeless citizens in Fayetteville. And they just received $25,000 in micro grants for street outreach that they're not actually doing. And let's see, and they provide 13-year-old housing lists for the homeless to actually navigate housing on their own with. The DRC only was not writing any other grants during the time that they've been running since August 20th. The only monies they've been relying upon are the monies that were given to them by the city, and that is Cumberland HealthNet. It may have failed because the person put in charge also has a degree in autism. How does someone with a degree in autism help a homeless community? If the DRC failed because of the homeless, it's because they were never given an opportunity to speak or be heard. And I know this because I've sent many emails and I've gone to many meetings. Economic Development considered lockers as a bomb threat to the city. HOAs, for example, run successfully because residents of the community make up those boards. If the homeless community had a seat at the table, the DRC might be in better shape. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Our next speaker is Ms. Mac Dishman.
Good evening, Ms. Dishman. Just state your name and put a mic down so we can hear you. There you go.
My name is Mac Dishman. I have the same address as Joseph Wheeler. Sorry, this is my first time.
All right, doing good.
So, I know the Day Resource Center is supposed to model after the Oak City Cares Resource Center in Raleigh. So I wanted to highlight some of the things that they do that the Resource Center does not have that I feel like would actually help us out as homeless citizens. For one, they provide mail services. I know the city of Fayetteville provides a 30-day delivery service, general mail, through the post office. But for some people, that's just not enough. You know, it takes longer than a month for us to get our stuff together. Me, personally, I've been homeless like this since last year of May. They also help with disability application services. I know that a lot of people would actually benefit from that here as well. It would get a lot of people off the streets and crime rates would drop drastically. They provide clinician doctor services there at Oak City Cares as well that I know the city of Fayetteville could benefit from for the homeless, especially for those who have obstacles that they have to jump over, just to get there. And some of us have disabilities that prevent us from getting to these places to vitalize these services. There's also a place in Raleigh called the Women's Center on New Bern Avenue. They provide a service, what's called rest and recovery. So for those who are staying outside and just have no way to get to a white flag shelter or, just get with coordinated entry because they have all these issues that they can't get over it. I think rest and recovery would help them get off the streets as well, because I know a healthy mind is a strong mind, and that helps drastically too as well, especially from personal experience. Me and my wife both, she's sitting back there, she came here with me today because of my anxiety. But I know a lot of this stuff would actually help if the city of Fayetteville would just buckle down, and provide extra resources. I know funding is an issue, but some of this stuff doesn't cost a lot. I think that concludes my speech. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ms. Lisa Lofthouse.
Good evening, Ms. Lofthouse. How are you?
Fine, thanks. I'm Lisa Lofthouse, and I live at 236 Viking Road. I'm the president of Organizing Against Racism, Cumberland County. And we are here to encourage you all to implement the Office of Community Safety. So we're encouraged by the recommendations from what we've read from Dr. Gerald Tate about the best way to build an effective and successful Office of Community Safety. This comprehensive approach, driven by data to prevent violence, has been proven effective in Greensboro and in Durham. If the data-driven plan is rolled out, as suggested by Dr. Tate, it can grow and expand according to what the greatest needs are. It is critical to fully fund this violence prevention multifaceted program to provide critically needed resources to include mental health response teams, violence interruption programs, and independent police oversight. Organizing Against Racism, Cumberland County supports fully funding the Office of Community Safety for this budget cycle fiscal year 2025 at $3 million. This accounts for less than 1% of the total annual budget of over $300 million in comparison to the Fayetteville Police Department that gets the largest slice with over $60 million or 30% of the budget. We cannot allow data gathering to delay the implementation of this important office. OAR is confident that data can be gathered well before June of 2024 budget deadline as to what calls the OCS will respond to. Without fully funding OCS at $3 million, no experienced director will take the job because it is as if you're asking them to step into a role that you do not fully support. So they would leap into a job without any idea if there's a net to catch them or a plan in action to act upon. Thank you for the time and all the work you do and to make our city progressive and forward-leaning community that it is. And we look forward to hearing the announcement that the OCS has been fully funded at $3 million. Anna, thank you.
Thank you.
On a side note, we're glad for the shout out about the court watching program that we're implementing, and also
Madam Clerk, is there, she still had time or no?
Yeah, she had like 30 seconds.
Okay,
left.
sorry about that,
okay.
Ms. Lofthouse. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And then also we're working with the community on North Street for the zoning that's happening there where Fayetteville Block is pushing in that community. We're concerned about environmental racism happening there and the pollution, and we are going to start investigating that and working towards that, and that's our other agenda item. One fun thing, we have a play coming up on March 6th about Jackie Robinson. It's free. It's at 7 o'clock at the Huff Auditorium, and we hope you all will join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Our next speaker is Ms. Lisa Rodriguez.
The council, Lisette Rodriguez, 1701 Cherokee Drive. Forgive me, I'm a little less prepared today for once. But I do want to touch on something somebody said earlier, talking about mail services for the unhoused. I also work as an organizer with Common Cause North Carolina. We focus on voting rights and protecting our democracy. And one thing that we have been keeping our eye on is the new voter ID laws that are coming out of our state. And one point of contention that our state board of elections is working on right now is how unhoused people can register to vote. Because of this new North Carolina law that was passed last year, there's a new provision that if the Board of Elections sends a card to confirm your address, if it is bounced back, your voter registration is automatically denied. And there's nobody there giving notification. So I just want to say that would be a huge thing to help our unhoused population so we can make sure that they have a voice in this city as well. Secondly, something I'm excited about, I saw you guys and the county are partnering on our farmers market, which is really exciting to me as a home gardener, because it's really great to have healthy food, healthy local food available in the Murchison Road corridor, especially with that being a food desert. And I couldn't miss this opportunity to mention that I would love it if you guys would maybe have a space at that farmer's market for us fellow musicians to maybe play some music, maybe have some local artists set up their local art. Just create a third space, essentially. I know us musicians would love to have a place to play like that, so just wanted to share that. And then lastly, OCS, big elephant in the room. If you guys don't already know, I founded Fayetteville Freedom for All back in 2022, and we have been advocating for the OCS for over a year now. And I want to echo what Organizing Against Racism said, co-signing all of that. But I also want to recommend that the city actually goes out into the community and gathers input from the community about what this office could look like, because I read some City View articles, and there was a lot of talk about what the council wants, but I would like to see the city hold some listening sessions. They're doing that in Raleigh with an organization called Refund Raleigh, who is partnering with the city to do so. So Fayetteville Freedom for All would love to be that partner if the city is interested. And lastly, Fayetteville Freedom for All is also committing to getting 100 organizers mobilized here in Fayetteville. So if that sounds of interest, we're meeting February 20th, 6:30 at
Ms.
Abundance Living Consulting.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez.
Mayor, our next speaker is Dr. Lakshmi Gordon.
Madam Clerk, where are we on time?
This will be our last speaker, sir.
Hello, thank you for hearing me. My name is Lakshmi Gordon, and I live at 4609 Weaver Hall Drive, 28314. And I'm going to turn our attention away from football and talk about tennis for a couple of minutes. Tennis is a great sport that I love. It increases our range of motion, improves our cardiovascular health. It's a huge stress reliever. It improves our balance and agility and provides great social interaction. You can play singles, you can play doubles. It's a multi-generational sport. I play with my 86-year-old father. I played with my young children when they were young. They're old now. And it's a sport of a lifetime. It's been said that if you play tennis, you increase your lifespan by 10 to 15 years. It reduces chronic illness, improves our mental health, and you can learn at any age if you're young or if you're old. So whoever's not a player, you should play, and I hope I get to see you all and hit with you all. Our courts have become more and more popular with COVID because it was a sport that was still allowed to be played because of the distancing that we had to do that was still feasible with tennis. So it's become very popular. And our great city hosts many tennis events, socials, tournaments for juniors, for adults combined. And the sad thing is our courts are in a very dangerous situation. They have many defects, they have cracks, they're uneven, And I myself, who've played tennis for a long time and are familiar with how to move on the court, I fell in October. And that same day, another good friend of mine, who also has played a long time, fell. And we've brought these issues up several times to the city, so the city's well aware of these risks, but we need to have our courts redone. They're not safe. I am aware that we are in the process of building a new tennis facility, which will have 11 new courts. However, those courts will not be enough to accommodate the needs of our citizens, and we're in desperate need to have these courts redone, and that was my plea to you all, and I hope that I get to play with you all and hit with you all, and that you all get to love the sport as much as I do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
Mayor, we have surpassed the 30 minutes.
All right, so council, with that, we're past the 30 minutes. However, I do have a Councilmember Benavente who's pressed his light.
Thank you, Mayor Colvin. My understanding is that there's one single speaker left, and I know we had a few disruptions during that might have taken away from the full 30 minutes. I think at this time, City Attorney, you can tell me if this is allowed in the policy. If we make a motion where the majority of council allows for at least a 3-minute extension for the last person to go, that this will be an opportunity we can do that.
So, Madam Attorney, just for clarity, because, you know, we've had this, and Councilmember Benavente knows that we've had this before it went to policy committee and back to council for vote. So do the rules apply for adding something to the agenda that we're now voting on, or is it a motion that can be made for anything to be considered tonight? Just asking for clarification.
The item for consideration is not necessarily on the agenda. Is that your question?
So it would be 2/3. I'm just trying to see how the motion would go that he's proposing.
I don't see that he's trying to add an item to the agenda. I think he's asking to suspend the rules of sorts and have
So that's a
council
simple majority.
have council not
Do the policy.
uphold its policy.
Okay. All right. So Councilman Benavente. All right, there's a motion on the floor by Councilmember Benavente, seconded by Councilmember Banks McLaughlin. Any discussion on said motion? All right, council, look to you for your votes on the shore.
Green.
All right. All right, Madam Clerk, that
Hell yeah.
is 6-3, including Councilmember Hare, 7-3. So please proceed.
Mayor, our final speaker will be Mr. Sha McMillan.
Good evening, Mr. McMillan.
Good evening. Sha McMillan, 6224 Golden Rain Drive, and I truly appreciate your time tonight. I'm here to urge you out of a comfortable place of silence and into a discomfort that comes with equitable and just governance. In the coming year, we look for this council to make positive and needed change here in Fayetteville. I echo Lisa's call to fully fund the OCS. It's great to see the invitation of people like Mr. Tate from the Raleigh Office of Violence Prevention. We also encourage you to make space for people and organizations here in this city who love and care for our communities. Organizations like Fayetteville Freedom for All, Organizing Against Racism, and Action NC. Please don't lose sight of the urgency around implementing safe mental health response. The urgency should be informed by and inspired by the recent losses of Joshua Oxendine in 2019, Adrian Roberts in 2020, Jada Johnson and Justin Lipsey in 2022. Please energize yourselves and the city's professional staff to provide mental health professional response to mental health crisis. Don't forget about funding the other 3 pillars of the OCS, liaisons and aid to the unhoused, independent oversight of the FPD, and violence interruption programs. It's been nearly 14 years since Noble recommended independent oversight in the form of a citizen review board for our city. January marked the 11-year anniversary of the police homicide of Najee Hagans, shot in the back by FPD officer Aaron Hunt. We just quietly passed the 2-year anniversary of the police homicide of Jason Walker, who was shot on January 8th, 2022 by Sheriff's Deputy Jeffrey Hash. FPD failed to ever arrest Hash, holding the blue wall of silence and allowing him to bypass the criminal legal system altogether. It's only been 17 months since Jelana Dunlap was assaulted in broad daylight on September 6, 2022. It's only been 3 months since the police homicide of DeMarcus Brody on Murchison Road. It's only been a little over 4 months since Lawrence Artis died in FPD custody with his hands cuffed behind his back. The council then voted 8-1 to request release of video footage. The community is owed a timely update in the name of accountability and transparency on that case. And it's been a little over 2 months since the police homicide of DeMarcus Brody on Thanksgiving Day off the Merc. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we will have to repent in this generation not merely for the vitriolic words and actions of bad people, but for the appalling silence of good people. It's also been a little over 2 months since members of the community urged the council to pass a resolution condemning genocide in Gaza. Back then, the death toll was around 11,000 and now stands at nearly 30. As a community, we're looking forward to seeing this council move with urgency to meet the demands of justice. And again, I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. All right, Madam Clerk.
Mayor, there are no further speakers.
All right, we thank all the speakers tonight for the public forum. With that, council, as we move to the last item, which is the administrative report, I'll go to Councilmember Hondros.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move that to make a motion that we move that to a future work session.
All right, is there a sec? All right, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Jensen to move the Cool Springs District second quarter fiscal report to future work session. All right, those in favor, let's look to you for you. Any discussion on the motion? Councilmember Green, you had a question?
No, I did not.
All right, Council, I'll look to you for your votes on that.
Green.
All right, we'll be at a future work session. Council, motion to adjourn? All right, have a good evening.